Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the 11-2 worksheet, take you through the odds. Okay, so this is really similar to what we were doing on 11-1. The only thing that's going to be a little bit different is that we're going to have numbers that are other than 1 sometimes out here in front, like 2, that's -1, and so forth. So anyway, we're going to start off the same way we did with the previous worksheet. This -2 means we're going to shift the whole graph down 2, and then -2 plus 2 gives us 0, so that means it's going to go to the left 2. So normally the vertex is right here at 0, 0, where the x and the y meet. So now we're going to go from there, we're going to go to the left 2 and down 2. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. Now our next point, remember we always take the number that's in front, and this number in front is -1, so we're going to go -1 over 1. So -1, remember, it's the slope is always the rise over the run. So rise is the vertical, and then the run is the horizontal, right? So if this is -1 vertically, that means we're going to go down 1 over 1, and then we're also going to go down 1 over 1 to the other side, because we can reflect that over our axis of symmetry. Okay, now to find our other 2 points, we've got to find one more on each side. We're going to want to plug in 0 or -4. These are the other 2 next points over. 0 is going to be probably a lot nicer for us to plug in, so let's try that. Y equals -0 plus 2 squared minus 2. So we get y equals -2 squared is 4 minus 2. So that's really y equals -4 and -2. That's -6. So at 0, when we plug in 0 for x, we get -6 for y. So 0, -6 is one of our points. We can reflect that right over our axis of symmetry. That's 1, 2 points over. So we go 1, 2 more points over, and there's the other spot. Draw a curvy line with the arrows on the end. Ooh, that was pretty bad. Oh, that was worse. I can do it. I can do it. Not great, but you get the idea. Okay. Taking a look at 3 here. This +4 means we're going to shift it up 4. This +3 means we're going to shift it to the left 3, because -3 plus 3 gives us 0, right? So left 3, up 4. There's our vertex, right? Vertex. You don't have to label it on there. It's just kind of nice so that you know what you just found, right? So there's our first point, our vertex, and then now we're going to take this number in front. No matter what that number is, even if it's a fraction, always put it over 1 in order to get the correct next spot for quadratics, which is all of our equations with our squares in it. Actually, officially, it's all the equations that has the biggest power is 2. So if it's cube or 4th root or anything bigger than that, it's different. But anyway, for this one. So what we're going to want to do is, to get to the next point, we're going to want to go up 2 over 1. And then up 2 over 1 the other way as well. Okay, right? Because there's our little axis of symmetry right here. That's one unit to the right, 1 unit to the left. Now we're going to want to plug in and find our points for -1 and -5. We really only have to plug in 1, so I'm going to choose to plug in the smaller of the 2. So I'm going to go 2 times -1 plus 3 squared plus 4. So we get y equals 2 times -1 plus 3 is 4. Sorry, no it's not. It's 2. I was squaring it already. 2 squared plus 4. Now, super important order of operations. We got to square this 2 first before we multiply it by 2. So it's going to be 2 times 4, because 2 squared is 4, plus 4. So that gives us 8 plus 4, which is 12. So when we plug in -1, we get 12 out. So we've got a point here on this graph which is at -1 and +12. This one over here at -5 is going to be the same. It's just going to reflect over this axis of symmetry here. So this is 2 units this way, so we go 2 more units over the other way, and that's our other point. And now we sketch our graph. So you can tell that this 2 here has made this, we've stretched this graph vertically. So it's getting skinnier. It's going up faster. Okay. Number 5 here. This +1 means we're going to go up 1, and then +4 or -4 gives us 0, so that means to the right 4. So here's our normal our regular vertex if it's x squared, but now we want to go up 1 and to the right 4. So here's our vertex. Okay. We can draw our little axis of symmetry to help out if that's useful. The next point we're going to want to do, we're going to want to go down 2 over 1. So down 2 over 1. And we can reflect that over this x-axis, sorry, the axis of symmetry right here. And there's going to be our other point, which is down 2 to the left 1. Okay. And then now we're going to want to plug in either 2 or 6. The next points over are always going to be kind of the nice points to plug in. You could also find the other points by plugging in 7 or 1 or 0 or whatever, but the points are probably going to be way down here off the graph, so it's always fairly wise to choose one that's right next to it. I'm going to choose 2 because that's probably going to be a little bit nicer with our math on this. So -2 times 2 minus 4 squared plus 1. So we get y equals -2. 2 minus 4 is -2 squared plus 1. So remember, it's super important. Got to take the square first before you multiply it by the -2. So we'll leave that -2 there. -2 squared gives us +4 plus 1. So -2 times 4 is -8. And then we're going to add 1 to that to get -7. So when we plug in 2, we get -7. That's one of our points. So 2, -7. And then we could plug in 6, or we can simply just reflect it over this axis of symmetry. 2 units that way, so go 2 units the other direction from the axis of symmetry, and here's our graph. And I'm trying, trying to go through those points. It just does not work so well. You get the idea. It's close enough. Okay, so that's 5. Number 7. This -2 means that we're going to go down 2. And then this +4 minus 4 gives us 0. So that means to the right 4. Okay. So we're going to go down 2 and to the right 4. There's our vertex. Okay. Now get to the next point. Super important on this. Always put whatever number you have up there over 1. Don't go down 1 over 2 because it's going to be a little bit different than down 1/2 over 1. Okay, so what we really want to do is do the down -1/2. So we're going to go down 1/2 over 1. Axis of symmetry here. And we're going to want to go down 1/2 over 1 the other way as well. Okay. Now we need to find one more point, so we want to either plug in 2 or 6 because those are the next points out. I'm going to plug in 2 and see what we get. Y equals -1/2 of 2 minus 4 squared minus 2. So -1/2. 2 minus 4 is -2 squared minus 2. So we get -1/2. -2 squared gives us 4. We're going to do the multiplication before we do the subtraction. So we do a negative times a positive is a negative. 1/2 of 4 is 2. Minus another 2 gives us -4. So we know that when we plug in 2, our y, 2 for x, y is going to be -4. So 2, -4 is going to be this other spot here. This is a distance of 2 to the axis of symmetry. So we go a distance of 2 the other direction to get our other point. And there's our 5 points. Sketch our graph. Always putting arrows on the end showing that this graph keeps going forever and ever. Okay? Okay, couple more. And then that will be all the odds for this worksheet. Okay, this -2 means go down 2. And then a positive 1 minus 1 gives us 0, so that means go to the right 1. So to the right 1, down 2. There's our vertex. Okay. There's no number out in front, so if you remember that from earlier, that just means 1 over 1. So to get to the next point, we're going to go up 1 over 1, and then up 1 over 1 the other way. We can reflect that right over our axis of symmetry here. And then we either want to plug in -1 or positive 3. I like dealing with positive numbers, so I'm going to do that one. Y equals 3 minus 1 squared minus 2. So we get 3 minus 1, which gives us 2 squared minus 2. 2 squared is 4. Minus 2 gives us 2. So when we plug in 3, we get 2 out. So 3 is going to be up here at 2. And then that's a distance of 1, 2 there. So we go a distance of 2 the other direction there, reflect it over, and there's our other 5th point. Right? You always want to do 5 points to graph your parabola. Okay? All right, last one. -4 means go down 4, and this -1 means that we're going to go positive 1 minus 1 gives us 0, so that means right 1. So we're going to go, here's our origin, so we go to the right 1 and down 4, so there's our vertex. Okay, now from there we're going to want to go down 2 over 1 to get to the next spot. So down 2 over 1 to the right, down 2 over 1 to the left, right along our axis of symmetry here. And then to find these next points, I'm either going to want to plug in -1 and solve, or positive 3 and solve. Either one will work just fine. I like to plug in the positive, so I'm going to do that. 3 minus 1 squared minus 4. So we get y equals 3 minus 1 is 2 squared minus 4. We get -2. 2 squared is 4, so that's going to be -2 times 4 minus 4. Got to multiply first. -2 times 4 is -8, and -4 gives us -12. So when we plug in 3, we get -12 for 3 for the x, -12 is our y. So 3, -12, and then we can, that's a distance of 2 here, so we just go 2 more over the other direction, and -1 will also give us 12. And then we sketch our graph. Okay? Okay, that's all we have for the 11.2 worksheet here. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.